Elections. If you live in the US and you're watching this video the day it comes out, there's an election tomorrow. And if you're watching it at some point after it takes place, rest assured there's another one on the way. Hopefully. If elections keep being a thing. Democracy's not guaranteed. But do you know where the word election comes from? I know I don't care. Wait, you don't care about the word or you don't care about voting in general? Both, I guess. I don't know. I'm busy. Okay, honestly, I get it. But number one, etymology is cool. And number two, voting is the best way to take part in our democracy. Okay, but do politicians ever do anything? I see your point. I do. We're going to talk about the etymology of elections first, and then we're going to circle back and get to those other things. Promise. Okay. Election comes from the old French word élection, meaning choice or selection. So basically the same thing. But that came from the Latin electionem, also meaning choice or selection. Okay, so the same thing again. But that came from the Latin verb eligere, meaning to pick out or select. I thought you said this is going to be interesting. I'm getting the boring one out of the way first, okay? Okay, so eligere. I need a Latin speaker to help, please. That almost sounded like there was a segue into like me having a guest Latin speaker in the video. There's not. I'm leading you astray. Okay, so it combines elements from two different Proto-European roots. The first being which is basically a reduced form of X, and you can see it in its reduced forms in other words like elude, emerge, evaporate, etc. Not etc. That was confusing. Maybe etc. Wait, etc. is Latin. Never mind. And that X in Latin comes from the Proto-Indo-European root ex, meaning out of or from. And then the second part of the word lect comes from the Proto-Indo-European root leg, meaning to collect or gather, or sometimes even to speak. This leg root can be found in other words like lesson, lecture, lexicon, dyslexia, and that E changes to an O in other places like logic, monologue, and trilogy. Okay, great. But like I said, do politicians really ever do anything? Right, so back to what you were saying. I know it's hard to see sometimes, especially when we have a million other things to worry about in our daily lives, just trying to survive. Maybe we don't have the time to keep up with everything that's going on, or it just gets a little stressful, or very stressful. Yeah, I guess. Are we done yet? No, not yet. Things do happen when we elect people that listen, that care, and that aren't bought by lobbyists and corporations. But we do need enough people representing us to have the votes to pass the bills and legislation in Congress, which is another word we're going to talk about. Congress. You think I care about the origin of the word Congress? Aw. You are so boring. Okay, you will scream when we get to the word Senate, okay? So hush your lips. I thought you wanted my voice to be heard, and now you're telling me to hush? Wow, this is harder than I thought. So we can track the word Congress back to the 1400s, meaning a body of attendants. And it comes from the Latin congressus, which means both, and write this down, a friendly meeting or, /and, a hostile encounter. You're kidding. No, I'm not kidding. Congressus is a past participle of the word congredi. The con coming from com, meaning with, and the Latin gradi comes from the Proto-Indo-European root cred, meaning to walk or to go. So Congress means to walk with, or like a step towards something. And that gred root also gives us words like aggression and graduation and progress. Okay, that part's interesting. You got me. I know. Apparently the word Congress also took the meaning a sexual union in the 1580s. And I don't know about you, but I don't always associate the word sexy with the word Congress. Sexy? Congress. But in 1765, we started using the word Congress in the US like we do today. And in 1775, we capitalized the C. I'm okay. Can we skip to the Senate now? What's so funny about it? So Senate comes from the Latin senex, meaning old. 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 Senex, senis, old man. Yeah, like in words like senile and senior. Yeah, and the ATE at the end just makes it a noun. So basically Senate just means a bunch of old people. like, I guess you could say council of elders, but come on, that's funny. I'm just frozen in time, stunned, gobsmacked. Yeah, that's understandable. Okay, so now we know where the words election, Congress, and Senate come from. But what do they do for us? Like, why should I care? Okay, I'll put it this way. Is there anyone in your life who may be gay or LGBT that you love and you want to make sure are protected and treated equally? I mean, yeah. Okay, so you know when the Supreme Court took away a woman's right to choose when they overturned Roe versus Wade back in June? Yeah, that sucked. Yeah. Did you know the conservative Justice Clarence Thomas said that the court should reconsider other landmark decisions, like the ones that gave us same-sex marriage and the right to contraception? Quote, in future cases, we should reconsider all of this court's substantive due process precedents, including Griswold, Lawrence, and Obergefell. Because any substantive due process decision is demonstrably erroneous, we have a duty to correct the error established in those precedents. Ew, no, I didn't know that. I guess I wasn't really paying attention. But wait, I thought we don't elect Supreme Court justices. I thought they're appointed. True, but who appoints them? The president? Right, and who votes for the president? We do, but this is a midterm election. We don't vote for the president this time. Right, but who confirms Supreme Court justices that the president appoints? Okay, you lost me. I have no idea. The Senate? Oh. And who votes for the senators? I know where this is going. We do. Exactly. And we vote for the people who represent us at the localest of levels, which is why it's important we make sure we elect the people that we need every chance we get. Honestly, I don't even know who my local officials are, let alone who's running or what they stand for. Oh, trust me, I know. And it's overwhelming because there's so much info and it's hard to find good resources that you can trust through all of the noise. But you can start by searching what district you're in, who in the House represents the district that you're in, and who in the Senate represents your state. And there are plenty of progressive voter guides that list out the candidates, what they stand for, what they're running on, what their history is, and if anyone endorses them. Okay, so I could just Google Progressive Voter Guide California or whatever my state is, and I'll find stuff? You can start there, yeah. I mean, I sent in my ballot last week, and it really didn't take me that long at all to research who was on the ballot and whose views aligned the most with mine. And if there was a name I didn't recognize, I would just take a minute to Google it and see what I could find. Okay, that doesn't sound that bad. Maybe I'll do it. What do you mean maybe? No, I'll do it. I'll do it. You convinced me. Oh, yes. Thank you. Actually, maybe I'll run for office. Okay, maybe take a little time, learn about this stuff, because just a couple minutes ago you didn't really,
I have to get new
you weren't that well educated about the process or anything, or
how did I never think of this career path? What should my campaign slogan be?
Okay, we'll get there.
How to run for office.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you especially to everyone on Patreon who makes videos like this possible. And thank you especially to Andrew, aka Barely, for sparking the idea for this video in the first place. And make sure you vote! And if you missed this one, make sure you're registered so that you don't miss the next one. Also, hey everyone in the rest of the world, if voting is a thing that your country does too, please go out and do that. Because there are a bunch of wacky sillies just taking office around the world, and I feel like we should stop that from happening, you know? Okay, I'll see you soon with another video.